I'm pleased to be able to join in the discussion and second reading on Bill 25, the Child and Youth Advocate Act. I haven't had time to read through the answered comments of the minister. These bills are moving quickly through, and so I apologize for that, and I may ask some questions that, in fact, he answered yesterday. I just haven't been able to read the Hansard completely to be able to prohibit myself from asking the question again. So a few things have occurred to me as I've gone through the Act, and I'll just throw those questions out to begin with and then get into a general discussion. I'm wondering why, under the Office of the Child and Youth Advocate, there are exemptions. Certain things do not apply to the Office of the Child and Youth Advocate or any employee of them, and I'm wondering why this was done. Is this a regular clause that goes into bills like this? I don't remember seeing them, I guess is why it kind of jumped out at me. And the fact that it's an exception, it says it doesn't apply in the matters of financial administration or the Public Service Act. And so if I can get an explanation about that, this may well be a standard clause, I just don't know. The next thing that struck me as a little odd, I think I know where this is coming from, but let me just ask the question. When it's talking about the reports that are done after an investigation of a child who is a ward of the government, and I'm sorry, that's old-fashioned language. I'm not sure what is the language that's used now. Sorry, I'm just looking for what the minister was referring to, but I'll call them wards of the state or children that are under the guardianship or protection of the government. But it does say that when there is a report, that the report shall not contain any findings of legal responsibility or conclusions of law. And I suspect this is because they're not lawyers and it's not a court. But I'm still hoping that there's an expectation that the findings of the advocate would, in fact, have some finding of responsibility, if not legal, at least some, responsibility of where this went wrong, and also conclusions. So I understand that they can't be legal conclusions, but I hope there's going to be conclusions. So I'm just double-checking that. And again, that this report that's done in the when there's a child who is has a serious injury or a death, the name is not going to be disclosed. And again, I thought we were trying to get away from that. So I'm curious as to why it's still in there. That was one of the big points that people talking about having the child advocate report to the Legislative Assembly rather than through the government process was making them more accountable. In other words, that they don't end up reporting, it doesn't get buried under a government ministry.